What's going on, good people? Rich here.
School in the building. What's happening? Shit.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Ray P. What's going on, guys?
Hey, slow motion, man. What's going on with you, man? We back for another episode of the Culture Garden. How y'all feeling?
I'm good.
We're here.
Good.
Yeah,
No,
we're here, man.
We're here.
All three of us are back for a very quick second. School's in and out.
Yeah.
I said it got cut off earlier, but he's not in the building. He's in the lobby. Rachel and myself gonna hold down the conversation for the episode. But before we get started, wanted to thank you for all coming. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, subscribing, for sharing. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We got some important news, but before we get there, just real quick, I want to shout out K-Rob and Shaq. They were the two winners of our You, Me, and Tuscany ticket giveaway. I know it was very quick, and it was something we put together real quick last minute just because we wanted to make sure we did everything we could to make sure we supported the film. I saw it personally on top of the ticket giveaway. Just want to make sure we get some love out. Did either one? I know you probably did in school. Rachel, did you happen to check the movie yet?
It was on my list to do.
Yeah,
it was on my to-do list, but it didn't get done. But I do still plan to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Pleasantly surprised. Like I walked in there thinking one thing and was very happy with the rom-com that it gave us.
Okay.
It felt like a traditional old school early 2000 style rom-com. Me personally, just the scenery made it that much more better too, with it being in Tuscany. For those who know me, I love wine, I love food, and just having that stuff around. And anytime I feel like I want to be a character in that movie, not even the main character, I just want to be there.
Yeah.
That's kind of always a good feeling for me, especially this time of the year when it's just now starting to get warm. Everything's changing up. So I was very pleasantly surprised, and I really enjoyed it. It's a very, the word I've been seeing, a very cute rom-com. So shout out to You, Me, and Tuscany. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. And thanks for everybody who participated.
Love a good rom-com.
You said what?
I said you love a good rom-com.
Sucker for a good rom-com. Proud. Like I love rom-coms. Yeah. I would go see them all the time. But this is episode 145. Before we get into today's episode, we've been teasing this for a week or so. We've got some important news to break. I'm going to hand this over to the one and only Rachel.
Let's get it.
Who's going to let us know what's going on.
Yeah. So, as you all know, that the Culture Garden has been a part of the Black Real family for a couple years now. And so we want to announce to you all, if you are not already aware, that June 3rd through the 6th, we have the 7th annual Light Reel Festival, which is a film festival in Chocolate City. Come on, guys. Black Reel, the Black City. So you've got to pull up and not just meet everybody else, but you know who else will be there? Culture Garden.
Come on. Talk to him.
Come on. So come out to DC June 3rd through the 6th for the 7th annual Light Reel Festival to meet and greet and see the things and see the people. That's Rich, School, and Ray. And everybody else too.
100%. So just a little, thank you for that, Rachel.
Yes.
For sure.
Celebration of multicultural storytelling. If you go to lightreelfilm.com, it kind of gives you their story in the about. Multi-day film festival in Chocolate City, as Rachel just said. Film screenings, live conversations, cultural events. It's going to be taking place in Union Market District, if you're familiar with the city. And Light Reel exists similar to Black Reel, similar to Culture Garden, to amplify voices from across the African diaspora and beyond. And there's a lot of cool things that they're doing, and this is year 7. And it's been in the works for a little while, so it's been kind of difficult, I guess, to share it, because I remember the first one day we'll have a conversation about how everything transpired. But I initially got a phone call in December where the idea was kind of tossed around. So I just want to emphasize, A, support Light Reel. B, if you're in the area, come support Culture Garden. And C, I think most importantly, I want to thank the both of you and tip my hat to the both of you. And sincerity. Stop. Don't do that. I'm being dead serious, man, because it's one thing if we were just like, hey, we want to just make the film festival circuit and we do all this stuff on our own time. But the reason I wanted to apply both of you was just the consistency and just going and just keep going and keep going and keep going through all the peaks and valleys. We put in enough work to where they hit us up and was like, hey, man, we like what you're doing. This is the first year they're doing live podcasting from their festival, and told us directly, like, we want y'all to do it. So we're the only podcast there. They entrusted us to kind of be the ones in charge of talking to filmmakers and sponsors and everyone else during the course of a couple of days of the film festival. And shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all for just consistently trusting me, trusting the vision, putting in the work. I'm excited. This is big news. It's a big deal for us. And I'm excited, man. So salute to y'all.
Salute to you, our fearless leader. You know, we appreciate all that you do as well, Kyron. You keep us in shape and you keep us honest and on top of things.
Y'all keep me honest. Rachel, both of y'all actually. Both of y'all keep me very much honest. I can't come on here and lie.
For sure.
Y'all niggas know me too well.
Yeah, damn sure appreciate you, Ray P. As always, so glad that you joined us, and you know, you helped us build something that is beyond. Man, hopefully this lives beyond us. God damn it, we'll be passing this on to the next round, You know, it really is. Damn, I'm trying to look for the word. This really is humbling, because I remember me and Rich just talking about this, like, you know, just doing the podcast to the point where we was writing shit down, trying to write a script. Nah, don't do that. Like, this shit that we doing now is way completely different than what we started with and how we thought a podcast worked.
iPhone 11.
Yeah.
No microphone, no nothing. Just an iPhone 11. Both of us sharing it. Hours and hours of editing.
Yeah. Getting cussed out about editing, all that shit, man. It's just been a journey, man. I love it. That's my dog right there, man. Since 89, man. So
no
I appreciate you and love you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I love you too, man. You already know. And love the both of you, and love all of y'all out there listening, because that's another big part of this. So we can't do this without you.
For sure.
And that's, I think, the most important part, just having an audience to come to every week to share our thoughts and just run our mouths, as Rachel says, about these movies. So we appreciate it. And of course, everything else we got going on, all the other podcasts, we got y'all. Who the fuck asked you? Which is a perfect name, because I be asking school that all the time. Who the fuck asked you? But in all seriousness, thank you, y'all. We wanted to make sure we shared that news with you. Please come a part of this. We'll make sure we document everything that we can. Yes. And like I said, if you in DC, come pull up June 3rd through 6th. We'll talk about it more as time goes on.
Yes.
Even if you're not in DC,
pull the fuck up.
Pull up.
You can get by train, by plane, by automobile. Again, tickets and passes available at lightreelfilm.com. Come see us. Come see some movies.
100%. Come see it.
Yeah. Come on. Access granted.
Absolutely. There we go. See, listen, professional. That's why Rachel announced it. But thank y'all. We're gonna get into the episode, but before we do that, School, we appreciate you, my good brother.
Absolutely.
Hey, I appreciate you both, huh? Love you both,
man. All right, lead the grown-ups to it, man. We're gonna get action.
All right, man. You trash.
Okay.
All right, peace. Love you,
bro.
Thank you.
All right, Rachel.
There
will be spoilers. There will be explicit content. We going back to 2004.
Crazy.
Episode 145. She Hate Me. Synopsis of the film: fired from his job for exposing corrupt business practices, a former biotech executive turns to impregnating wealthy lesbians for profit. Let me just stop. That's a wild ass synopsis. I got so many questions on what Spike was on, but we'll talk a little bit more about it. Rachel,
yes,
this is your week to choose. You got to tell me, what made you want to go with She Hate Me? I got to know.
Man, first off, Spike is ridiculous.
Spike a troll.
He is.
Spike a troll in this whole movie.
Why did I choose this? I think I was just scrolling on Prime and the thumbnail came up and I said, you know what? It's been a minute since we've done a Spike movie. I mean, I guess Highest and Lowest was the last one. And I haven't seen She Hate Me in so long, and I probably won't revisit it again anytime soon. But I was like, you know what? I don't know if, and we'll get there. I don't even know if it's a cult classic, but I feel like everybody has seen She Hate Me.
Everybody's seen it.
And ironically enough, probably about a month ago, there was a picture of He Hate Me's jersey that came down my Twitter timeline. And I texted my brother, who used to be obsessed with the XFL, and he loved He Hate Me. So I sent a screenshot. And then when I saw the thumbnail of She Hate Me last week, I was like, I mean, we might as well just do it.
Hey, folks, this is literally how we pick movies. It could just be a random number of things that happen over a course of time, and we just say, you know what, that's the movie we're doing this week.
For sure.
I love that explanation, and that's funny because I remember He Hate Me, marketing genius. I remember when the XFL started and that jersey and everything else that came with it. So yeah, Spike obviously was inspired by that, and it's mentioned in the film. I was wondering what made you go with this, and it's funny because I've talked about this a little bit. But I officially just started it. I'm running through Spike's whole filmography.
Yeah.
Chronologically. I watched She's Gotta Have It, School Days, Do the Right Thing, and I got to do Mo Better Blues here. Those are the first.
School Days?
Yes, we did School Days. You know what's funny about that? School Days was like also known as the college UT reunion, because that's what most of the episode was. Rachel and myself going through our own anecdotes. But when you say that, I finally reached that point where I have to double guess. Like, damn, did we do that yet?
Yeah.
And I thought we did School Days fresh. So when I was doing this, School Days is his second film, and I'm like, oh, we just did School Days. I just watched School Days like a few months ago. We good. I looked it up. It was at the end of 2024 when we did that. The time is flying. I literally feel like we just did the School Days episode at the end of last year. It was the end of 2024. So It's funny how time goes. I know we're 145 in, but I'm officially at that point where I don't know. I don't know if we did it or not. But talk about the first four though. She's Gotta Have It, School Days, Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, and then he does, I believe, Jungle Fever and then Malcolm X right after that. So a ton of stuff going on with Spike. Shout out to him. That was I'm glad you chose this because I was going to get to it here in a second. And you're 100% right. I had a random conversation this past Sunday about She Hate Me. And they were like, this your first time seeing it? I'm like, nah. And her response was like, yeah, I feel like that's a movie everybody's seen. Just like you said, Rachel. I'm like, yeah, I think so. 100% right. So the film was released July 30th, 2004. Directed by Spike Lee, as we mentioned. Written by Michael Gennett and Spike Lee. Budget of an estimated $8 million, but only made $1.5 million. $55,000 the first weekend. Now, here's the thing about this, a little caveat, a little asterisk. Had a very limited release. So the first week of its release, it was in 11 theaters nationwide.
Oh, wow.
Very, very, very limited release. I tried to look up information as to why that could have been. The only thing that I kind of found, and it's all assumption, 2004 movies like this with this type of subject matter, they were very niche and nuanced, and they weren't really going to large audiences. So that's my only thing that I would assume, but there's no clear answer. 28 theaters was the highest number of theaters for 1 week it had during this run, and that was in week 4. So it never was in more than 28 theaters at one time. So that explains the low numbers on this one. Before I even go further, does that change maybe the history of this film if it had more of a wider release, or does it make it more polarizing?
I don't think I understand.
So this is one of those films where if you ask people about Spike Lee films, this isn't going to be one of the first ones they talk about, but we remember it. Like we remember watching it, but we don't remember going back to it. And I wonder if it had more of a more publicity, more advertising, more marketing. So this is high school years for us, right?
And that's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
So we are in 2004, we're juniors or maybe
summer
seniors.
going into our senior year. when this movie drops.
Summer of our senior year. So, 17, 18-year-olds are not, depending on the film, are not running to the theater multiple times in general, and especially not our age demographic for Spike Lee films in general at that time, So, as far as our demographic goes, the limited release was not too impactful because, again, everybody has seen it. I know your next question, do you remember first watch on TV, HBO or something, but didn't go to the theater. And it's not something that I likely would have gone to the theater to see at 18 or 17. And, you stumble upon it. It's like, this is really something.
No,
this is really something.
You're exactly right. To your point, 17 is just not, you haven't lived enough life to even understand this movie. It kind of reminded me, and this movie came out around this, I think it came out the same weekend, honestly. I remember Manchurian Candidate, right? So that came out 04, and I might have seen that. And of course, that's a remake. It originally came out a decade or two before that. I remember seeing that somewhere between 04 and 06. And Denzel was in it. I think Jeffrey Wright was in it. Anthony Mackie had a little role in there. And just being a little bit confused on what it was. Like I knew what I was watching, but I didn't know what I was watching. It was one of those situations.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of, did you see Sorry to Bother You?
I've seen the first maybe hour of Sorry to Bother You several times. I don't know that I've ever finished that movie.
So when I say it reminds me of, what you're saying is kind of leading to what I'm about to get to. When I say it reminds me of Sorry to Bother You, not because it's the same type of movie, but just, I personally think Spike was trolling, but also someone could argue that Spike might have been trying to do a little too much. Like, Sorry to Bother You was trying to be too smart for his own good. And maybe it's just me misinterpreting it. I think Jordan Peele has a little bit of this sometimes too, where the message kind of gets mixed into the rest of the shit. And in this case, I think Spike's message was very clear. There were just a lot of them, and they didn't go together. But overall, like I said, I just think he was really trolling this whole conversation in this whole film, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. It opened up at number 51 in the box office. The top 5 that week were The Village, The Bourne Supremacy, Manchurian Candidate, as I mentioned, I, Robot, and Spider-Man 2. And this was actually in theaters for 20 weeks, even though it was only a limited release. So the NYU students had something to do every weekend going to see She Hate Me. And it is not streaming. You have to rent it if you want to check this one out. 7 nominations and 1 win, Rachel, for awards. Black Reel Awards had 4 nominations. Best Breakthrough Performance for Anthony Mackie. Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Original Score. Sharon Warren, who played the mom in Ray, like Ray's mom in the very opening, she won best, best breakthrough performance. I don't think that should have won over Anthony Mackie. And we can kind of have this conversation right now. I know Anthony Mackie as an actor is a very interesting conversation, to say the least. He's not really the fan of a lot of people. Or people aren't, a lot of people aren't fans of his. Thank you. Where do you stand? And what do you stand? Not necessarily the overall thing, but this performance in particular. Were you pleased with it? Did you get the Anthony Mackie ick? Was it okay to you? What did you think about his performance?
It's such an interesting question because you said Anthony Mackie was a Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, small role.
In my mind, this is his quote unquote breakthrough role. So
over 8 Mile?
I think. Oh, that's also 2004?
8 Mile's 2002. I know 8 Mile's his first feature film.
Okay,
and this is his second.
8 Mile. Okay, so 8 Mile, then this. I'm not gonna say I got the Anthony Mackie ick because in 2004 or 5, when I was watching it all the time, quote unquote, I didn't really know who he was. So there was no Anthony Mackie ick at that time. So then 20 years later to go back, and it's Anthony, like many actors, despite their role, if you just have a speech cadence, you have a speech cadence. And I think that sometimes it's hard to get out of it. And so because I didn't know who he was for real in 2005, it didn't really register. But in 26, it's like, oh yeah, that's Anthony Mackie being Anthony Mackie.
That's a great point.
I don't want to say being the same person or playing the same role, despite the character being very different than what we've seen, but it's still the same Anthony Mackie, if that makes sense.
I'm sitting here thinking, normally I like to do the whole who could have played this role. And I'm okay with Anthony Mackie's performance. Like I don't really have any issue with it. It's actually in my opinion, one of his better performances. And when you look at his filmography, and this has nothing to do with Anthony Mackie's talent. It's more so about just how Hollywood works. It's actually amazing that he's going from where he started to where he is now. Because he had a nice little run after this until he got to Hurt Locker, where you're just like, damn, bro, you weren't even supposed to make it. So shout out to Anthony Mackie for keeping on pushing through. I don't think the script, because of what I just said, I don't think there's an actor that could have just taken this role and made the movie more than what it could have been. I just think it was kind of bound to the script. It's one of those odd things where actually, when you look at the cast, you got some people. You got some people
for
in here
sure.
At the time of the year. This is Kerry Washington. She was just in Ray. You know what I mean? The same year. She was doing a lot of good stuff. Ellen Barkin, Woody Harrelson, all these names that you already know. I just don't think another actor could have came in and changed anything. One person that I just oddly would have been curious to see, I don't know if he would ever work with Spike or how that would look. And call me crazy if you want to. I would have loved to see Cuba Gooding Jr. in this role.
Oh.
It's left field. It's left field, right?
Okay.
My first thought was Mekhi Phifer, right? Mekhi Phifer was my first thought. And then I was like, that's a little lazy. You taking the Spike Clockers thing. And then I thought about why can't I think of my man's name right now? Isaiah Washington?
Isaiah Washington?
Is that who I'm thinking about? Was he on Grey's and he was in Love Jones?
In Grey's, Isaiah Washington.
Okay, yeah. And then I thought about him. And then I landed on, Cuba would have been pretty good in this role. Because I just see him being like, this is a Harvard-educated biotech, Mr. Righteous, goody two-shoes type of dude. And for some reason, I just thought of him in that lane. Not that it mattered, but like I said, I just landed on him.
I know this is awful to say.
This is my favorite shit. I love when shit starts with that.
And I don't want no smoke with Omar.
Oh.
I don't know why. And he's done Black movies, and he was married to Regina King and Jerry Maguire. Like I know Cuba does Black and Black women, but he doesn't register to me Spike Lee Black.
Oh no, 100% no. He's 1,000% not Spike Lee, and that's I hate to regulate blackness, but y'all know what we mean when we say that.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that because Black people are not a monolith, and the role calls for what the role calls for. But that's a name I was totally not anticipating you saying. But as you were talking, and even beforehand, in my mind, and I don't know how old he is. I don't know that he would have changed, quote unquote, the role. But Aldous Hodge also has that stoic Black man cadence and speech delivery, even as a enslaved person in underground. There is something about him that demands respect. It commands, like your eyes go to him, you pay attention, you listen when he's talking. He could have been John Henry. That's a Cosby Show reference.
That's a no, I got you. That's a good one, Rachel, because my knowingly my first introduction to Aldous Hodge was Friday Night Lights. He had in the first season of Friday Night Lights, which started in 2006. He had a cameo as Ray Voodoo Tatum. He was in Big Mama's house, him and his brother, in like the basketball scene, but I didn't know who they were in that point until years later you find out it's them. So 06 back then. You said what? What you say? My bad.
The original Derwin Davis in the game, in the pilot.
Oh yeah. I remember that. I remember that being a thing. Either way, it actually would have been perfect because, as you said, Anthony Mackie's an unknown at this point. Aldous Hodge would have been a relatively unknown at this point, just one of those early roles, and I think that would have been perfect. Actually, this is why you're the producer Rachel, because casting Rachel, because that would have made a lot more sense. The reason I said Cuba, we'll get off this in a second. The reason I said him is because I look at the role and I think of somebody like Cuba. I just kind of, I don't know, he's just a little bit 2004 buttoned up, working for the man, company man type of dude.
For sure.
Goody two shoes. And I think you can be that, but still be, for lack of better terms, black, which I think Aldous Hodge would have represented. So it's actually an interesting one. I like that. I like that more than what I came up with. It didn't win any of those Black Reel Awards, but what it did win, the one win it had, Hall of Shame from the Women Film Critics Circle, which is not surprising. Because women were not happy with Spike, and they did not fuck with this movie, as you can understand because of the topic. As far as the cast goes, we talked a little bit about it. Anthony Mackie as John Henry, Jack Armstrong, Kerry Washington as Fatima Goodrich, Jim Brown as Geronimo Armstrong, John Turturro as Don Angelo Bonacera, Q-Tip as Veda Huff, Woody Harrelson as Leland Powell, Dania Ramirez as Alex Guerrero, and we have appearances from Monica Bellucci, Ozzie Davis, Ellen Barkin, Joy Lee. I feel like I'm saying her name. It's not Joy, it's Joy. Spike Lee's sister. I feel like I'm messing that up. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Paula J. Parker, and Isaiah Whitlock, the late greats. Rachel, go ahead. What are you about to say?
I was just going to say Cleveland's very own Paula J. Parker.
Cleveland, man. If nothing else made sense in this movie, that made sense. Rachel, you kind of alluded to it a little bit more, but let me ask you directly. Classic or not?
No.
Yeah,
it's not a classic, but I feel like maybe it's a rite of passage movie. Like everybody got to see She Hate Me.
Yeah, I think so. And that's as we get into the origin. No, it's not a classic, as I mentioned. The film only took 28 days to shoot. It was on location in New York. They actually filmed in all 5 boroughs. Spike Lee hired Tristan Taormino as a consultant. This sounds crazy to say in 2026, but this was his lesbian author and sex columnist. It was a lesbian consultant. That's literally what he hired her for. And she gave him like films and books and places to hang out just to get a better idea of the lifestyle. Even though, once again, I don't know how seriously. And listen, we got to mention, I don't know if Spike's ever going to beat the misogyny allegations, especially after a movie like this. But I also think it's a way for him to play around with it in a sense. Like, oh, yeah, see, I was messing around with you guys the whole time, which is something that people do when they're really guilty of all the shit they've been accused of. They try to make it seem like I'm in on the joke, which I think, once again, he did. That was his intent. But he's never beaten those allegations. And she took him through the ins and outs of lesbianism, like I said, which sounds crazy to say in 2026. But one of the things that I was reading, Rachel, and what I will say about the film, and we can tie this in with first experiences, I too saw this at home. It was an 85 joint. It's one of those movies that is different from the first time you see it to when you watch it 20 years later. A lot of that, I will say, had to do with my age, being 17, 18, and really trying to figure this out. It was like, all right, what's going on? This ain't He Got Game. But as you get older, you kind of learn life and learn a little bit more. And you see all the messages. However, one of the complaints I saw was Spike's just trying to do too much in one film, and it's all over the place. And I saw something on RogerEbert.com, and I want to read this because this was a quote. I'm not sure if Ebert actually wrote this himself. I actually don't remember what year Ebert transitioned, or if this was just somebody on the staff. But they wrote, after seeing the movie once, I would have complained that She Hate Me contains enough for 5 movies, but has no idea which of the movies it wants to be. Movie 1, the story of a corporate whistleblower and an indictment of corporate culture. Movie 2, the hero inexplicably becomes a stud who was hired to impregnate lesbians at $10,000 a pop. Movie 3, he impregnates a mafia daughter, and John Turturro turns up as the father to do a Marlon Brando imitation. Movie 4, a freestanding sidebar about Frank Wills, the Watergate security guard who brought down the Nixon administration and reaped nothing but personal unhappiness. And movie 5, how a black man steps up to the plate and accepts responsibility for raising his kids by bonding with his lesbian ex-girlfriend and her lover, who have both born one of his children. All 5 of those things that I mentioned were in the same movie. And it sounds crazy to even say that, especially that last part. Like, it just sounds nuts. What are your thoughts on that? Is that part of the issue you think with this film, that it was trying to do too much and kind of took you out of one element and put you in another? Because I'll be honest, by the time we got to the third act and we get to him being arrested and doing the perp walk, I was more invested in I didn't care about the corporate scandal anymore. So it was all over the place. And I understand what they were saying in a lot of the complaints. What's your opinion on that?
For sure. I agree with that. And the movie is way too long. Candidly, of those, 5 potential themes for the movie, at least 3 of them are actually good. And had they been fleshed out more, you could get a good hour and 30 minutes of really solid work versus 2 hours plus, of a little bit of everything and storyline that doesn't quite curl all the way over.
I agree with you. I think you either make it about the corporate, like, corruption, or you make it about, no, that's what you make it. The entire him impregnating lesbian couples, it just doesn't make sense. It's kind of ridiculous. It just doesn't, like, everything about it. And I know it's satire. I know it's meant to be, like, even so the sperm scene, right, where the sperm actually flying with the Anthony Mackie faces. Like, what, Spike, what the fuck you on, bro? Like, what was going on in your head as you were creating this? Like, it makes you really want to know, like, what was going on? What message were you trying to portray? There was something else that Ebert wrote that I thought was fascinating. Ebert argued Lee knows the lesbian's plotline is absurd, but uses it to confront the pious liberal horror in such concepts as the inexhaustible black stud. He ultimately said the film is alive and confrontational and aggressively in our face, and the man who made it has abandoned all caution, even to the point of refusing to signal his intentions, to put in a wink to let us see how he knows what he's doing. Once again, pretty much a long way of saying, hey, he is trolling us this entire time with all of these storylines. It just didn't make sense to why with the storyline of the Alex and Fatima.
Well, let's see if we can figure that out.
Okay.
Early Spike Lee always had, he's from New York, okay, film takes place in New York. Spike always has Italians. Do the Right Thing.
Mo Better Blues. No, that was
Jungle Fever.
Yeah.
So he's sticking to what he knows. This is Spike Lee canon. Okay. Loves to see somebody giving birth. Mo Better Blues.
Yeah, you're right about that. I was like, shit.
Spike is educated. Shout out to Morehouse and NYU. A good majority of Spike's characters are educated Black men. So he likes to put on I don't want to say the role, but he wants to portray us in a particular light. Okay. John Henry, strong Black legend. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to confront societal stereotypes. And that is one thing that Spike always does. When we think Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever, his hand is on the pulse of culture. And when we think back to 2004, the freedoms that are LGBTQIA plus friends, families, colleagues in 2004 were not as prominent as they are today.
Yeah.
So here I am on the precipice of something that I think is about to quote unquote pop. And I'm not saying that sexuality is a cultural phenomenon, but it is when we look at the way that things have changed and the ability to be free and to express yourself. And again, the trolling. I don't think that the lesbians are looking to be impregnated by all of these men. But when we think about what desperation does,
there you go.
When I get back to praise this,
there you go. Yeah.
Don't deal with desperation, because when you're desperate, you will do anything. And that's when you, this educated, strong, willful, Black man, able-bodied, that's when you shrink back into the stereotypical stud. That's when you allow yourself to become a whore, to whore yourself out for money, to basically become your own breeding farm, because you're desperate, because you did the right thing, and now it's blown up and now it's blown up in your face. You know what I'm saying? So when you really think about Spike and what he does, this is a quintessential Spike Lee movie. Like, it follows the Spike Lee formula, whether on its surface it makes sense or not.
It's a perfect movie to watch if you haven't seen it in 20 years and just watch it one time, because there is somebody, Eric Nielsen, he wrote this, article or essay, I think in 2020, called Little White Lies. And he said something about the film being misunderstood. Now, before I go into that, I think I credit more what you said. I don't think it was misunderstood when it came out. I just don't think we had all the information that we do now. So even in 2020, so much had changed about the world, so much had changed about how we viewed things and what we understood, that it's easier to kind of digest this than what it would have been. And it's very, especially when you talk about frontlining conversations about rights and same-sex marriage and parenthood and all of that stuff. That was happening frontline in 04, 05. Before that, of course, but I remember it really picking up steam, and just the world was a little bit different at that time than what it is now. So
what's the Jennifer Aniston, sorry not to cut you off, Jennifer Aniston, Jason Bateman movie where she basically goes to the sperm bank and then finds out that Jason Bateman, her best friend, is the father. Like, that came out around that time too, I want to say. Family planning.
Well, and that's another thing I do appreciate about the film, because even if it wasn't for naught, right? It wasn't I like how they all explain why they were going to this, because it does on its face. And this is something that Nielsen wrote, where he talked about, hey, it's a funny, sometimes ridiculous, yet ultimately insightful commentary on race inside American capitalism. But he goes on to say, perhaps Spike Lee is trying to turn the objectification of women on his head. Jack is stripping for his clients who woo and scream and goad him on. Perhaps Lee is commenting on the hoary old stereotype of the black male's alleged potent sexual virility. However, all of it is kind of out the window once you make these women lesbians. He's pretty much saying if these women were straight women, that can kind of go. But now it doesn't make any sense as to why this is going on, because they don't even like men. So your whole message on flipping this on his head is one thing. But I think it does play in a very good way, in my opinion, the issues of parenthood and the issues of conceiving and what's safe. You have different women talking about, hey, I need the background. You know, a lot of these clinics and a lot of these sperm banks, they'll tell you X, Y, and Z. They'll tell you, you know, this came from someone who's 6'5" and good health, and they bald and they smoke and all of that. So I think the first woman who actually, I forget her name off the top of my head, she played in BMF on the Star Show. She was Mama Flannery. She was talking about she spent $50,000. Like, she's going to the airport expecting her baby to be on a plane, and it wasn't there. Just kind of getting the runaround through that process. So that part of it is very real. And desperation. If you are desperate to do this on your own, and we see a lot of desperation. Matter of fact, that's an overarching theme of this film is desperation. Everybody's doing this out of necessity, not because of want. Nobody wants to be in this situation. And you can actually layer that into the whole corporate greed of it. I just think that, and I'm sure a lot of other people would agree, a lot of other Spike Lee films cover that better. Like even Mo Better Blues and the Club Owners. If you go back and listen to our episode, we talked about that. Even Inside Man, which came out a couple years later. When you talk about, behind every great fortune is a great crime, and all of these things going on. So he had something. He was just trying to do a little too much. But I think knowing Spike Lee, I think he wanted to do that. I don't think he really cared. Like, I think if you get Denzel or you get a big name, I don't think this is the same movie. I don't think he's gonna try to make that fly with them or say, hey, I want you on this film. It's gonna be a limited release, and I'm just fucking with people for 2 hours and 18 minutes. I don't know if that works, but I think you can kind of have your own passion project and get it out. And I think at that point, because She's Gotta Have It came out in 86. This is 18 years of Spike Lee. And I think at that point, you can get people like Ellen Barkin and Woody Harrelson who just say, oh, you just need us for 5 days? Bet. Like, cool. I'll be in a Spike Lee film.
I'll take that check.
Yeah, because he had a lot of good, like I said, Inside Man a couple years later. You had Summer of Sam, which came out, I think, in like 2002, 25th Hour. A lot of like B-side Spike Lee films that were really good.
Yeah.
And people weren't ready to let go of the heyday. They weren't ready to go of the late 80s, early 90s Spike. And there's a lot of good movies after that came. But either way, very interesting stuff as far as just what they were trying to accomplish and the overall arc of the film. I know we talked about first time watching it. I talked about how, I haven't really seen a film like this. So I guess that's good. But it's just doing a lot. But I do think it does get better with some maturity and some time. But
for sure.
2 hours and 18 is way too long. An hour 40 is probably the sweet spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
What do you cut out? Like, what storyline do you cut out?
I'm cutting out the Italian family storyline.
And what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I don't need any of that. I don't know why he's obsessed with it. I mean, I guess to call it to light, but I just don't need it. I don't need any. I don't need racial epithets in really anything, but especially if that's not what it is. If I'm watching Mississippi Burning, I can watch Mississippi Burning, but I don't need this. And he always gives it to us. And so I guess when you really want us to know that these people really be racist, hello, I know we're black.
You said that this has nothing to do with this movie. I just bought a book and I can't wait to get started. It's Quentin Tarantino and Race, the Race of Quentin Tarantino, something of that nature. Very fascinating because I have a very complicated relationship with Tarantino and his film. Like I love his films, but I hate some of that shit he be doing because I feel it's unnecessary. Yeah, so I'm really excited to. Yeah, and I think in the well, obviously this is completely different. It's almost like he can't help himself. He had to get it in there. My only issue with it, I don't really mind it. It just doesn't have anything to do with this film. Like save that scene for a different film. Yeah. That's what you want to do. Like it's just out of all the women, and I get it, Italians, black people, understand. It just felt out of place and it felt unnecessary and forced.
Yeah, it was stupid. We need a vehicle for him to be fired and call into this desperation place. I understand that.
Let's go ahead and get into it since we're talking about that vehicle because that's the opening. So we can just go ahead and get into the movie.
Okay. So opening, we understand that Jack is working for a pharmaceutical company. And I'm not quite sure exactly what he does.
He's a VP.
He's the VP.
Yeah, but I don't know what part of the organization he's in, but he's a VP. It seems like he works directly because he had a very close relationship with Dr. Schiller.
Right. Which, if you understand the way that pharma works, that's not how that works. But whatever. Yeah. So we have this, and then Dr. Schiller, we have this development that Progora, this HIV medication that they've been working on isn't doing the things that they say it is. We have this what are we saying for the suicide? He jumps out of the window of this high rise to unalive himself based off of these findings and repercussions coming from the FDA. We find out about kickbacks and all of this stuff. Cool. Jack is not the whistleblower, but he gets the video of Dr. Schiller basically not confessing, but unraveling the lies that have been spewed by the rest of the corporate team, by the rest of the organization. Jack, that's his friend. This is his company that he is the vice president of. So he thinks he's doing the right thing, but we all know no good deed goes unpunished. He gets fired. So accounts are frozen. You're under investigation. Mind you, the only black man, you the one. Everybody else still taking a kickback, still getting money. Okay, scapegoated. Now we have Jack in a place. He's desperate. In comes beautiful ass Kerry Washington, Fatima, his former fiance, and her new lesbian lover. We heard you ain't got no money. You're broke as hell. I'm going to pay you $5,000 to get me pregnant.
She told that man, the nigga net says you got fired. Your net worth is between 0 and the national debt. Like, nigga, you ain't got no bread. Stop playing with me and take this money. No money.
That's crazy as hell. And I can attest to broke stroke really being a thing. And so I know that Jack was really doing what he had to do because he was desperate and he had no money. Here is Fat. Find out this is your former fiance. She was cheating on you.
No, I was just about to say, there you can tell, even if we find out the information they had history, but their sexual encounter, you could tell there was more than just I'm getting you pregnant. It was some I've been trying to get you pregnant.
For sure. For sure. This is a body that's very familiar to me. I know what you like and vice versa. We know what to do with one another. But Fat doesn't come alone. She comes with Alex, her new partner. It's crazy as hell that this is their introduction. That is one of the things I wrote down. Fat is nuts because we are estranged, number one. Don't pull up to my house in your new lesbian relationship talking about we want a baby and you're going to give it to us and expect me to do it and know that I'm going to do it and play in my face about me being desperate and penniless. That's manipulation 101. So that is crazy. So that, I mean, that's the base of this movie.
Yeah.
That's it. Fat doesn't stop there though. Then go ahead.
I was going to go back to a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
You want to finish your thought? I don't want to lose you.
No, I was just going to say she then doesn't stop at she and Alex. You recruit all the lesbians in New York City and probably New Jersey who are also desperate and hard up, but have $10,000 to give to Jack to sleep with them. That is fucking insane. I couldn't do that. Not to somebody that I have feelings for, not to somebody that I care about.
You couldn't be the Fatima in this situation, is what you're saying?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. My former fiance, whether I like Vagine or not, I have feelings for you. I love you still. I don't want you to do that.
All right. You're going to get me into my character development bag. You know how much I like to dig into the backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought about that until you said it. And the only thing I'm going to tell myself is, in some twisted way, she really looked at herself as helping him. Like, you ain't got no money, bruh. Like, you broke. This is my way for you to get cash. She handed him some money and said $110,000 in 3 nights. I think she looked at it as, I'm helping you, and that's how she kind of coped with it. Even though normal, sane people are going to say, I'm not going to do that to you. That's almost like a woman that I cared about, and I'm going to say, hey, like, niggas need a girl to get pregnant. Can you carry these? Like, I got one. It's a little bit different, obviously, because women have to carry a child, but it's almost like the same thing, putting it through rotation. Like, no, I would never do that. Like, I'm not even about to put you in a position of selling your body.
I hear what you're saying. Even if she felt like she was helping, I'll take that for me and Alex. You help me, I help you. But then to whore me out?
That's the part that was weird.
Really, without my consent. We didn't talk about me doing this for 11 other women. This is something that we discussed for you and I. I agreed to the turkey baster for Alex. I didn't want to, but here we are. We did our thing because we've been doing our thing since we've been doing our thing. You can't tell me later that we'll always be connected, we'll always have a part of each other because I'm carrying your child, when you done put them same siblings and 11 other people who mean nothing, less than nothing to either of us.
Just rethinking this as you was talking, it is fucking insane, because
it's insane.
Just to see, this is why I love having these conversations, because everybody looks at film differently. And as I'm watching this, my mind is already going to this nigga ain't taking this serious. And when I say this nigga, I mean Spike Lee. He's not taking this serious. So let me turn off that part of my brain and just kind of see what's going on. And when I start thinking about it as a character in the film, like if I'm Jack, you come to my crib unannounced. It seems like there hasn't been much conversation since the breakup.
None.
You come with a new girl, knowing that's triggering to me, because the last time I saw you, I caught you in bed with a woman.
You know, pause, hold that. I always thought Alex was the girl that was in the bed with. Maybe I didn't pay her any attention. I just thought, the Spanish or Portuguese, whatever she's speaking. Oh yeah, because she's Dominican. The Spanish up until I was like, oh, that's Alex. Oh my God, fat foul as hell. But then when I really was looking, I was like, oh, that is somebody different. Fat got a type.
That would have been even more crazy. That would have been even more crazy. I don't think he would have let them in if that was the case. And even the greeting, right? Even the greeting, like he opens a door, not knowing she's there. she hits him with the still fine. Like she's flirtatious and complimentary, and it's almost like, damn, I'm happy to see you. But then you come with this bullshit. I don't even know if I would have let him in the crib. But then you hit us with the I want you to have my baby. Once again, on a random Wednesday, this is crazy. It's even more insane when you know the history, you know we're about to get married. You're exploring your sexuality when our wedding invitations are in the mail. Like there's so much to unpack that you just can't pop up here with the, hey, we'll pay you $5,000 to have our baby. So all of that is insane. The baster, the whole nine. I want to go back to the opening scene and I'll jump back here. Just a couple of things that I thought were interesting. Obviously, the idea of make your career your family, make your career your friends, your kids, whatever the case is. Dr. Schiller was pretty much on like, hey, get married, have a lot of kids, enjoy life. These companies ain't here for you. First sign they can to get rid of you. We've all heard the quote, take that PTO, because if something happened to you, they putting your job up for posting.
For sure.
So I do get that, but that was something they try to put out there. The one thing I did want to know, for lack of better terms, we'll call it a manifesto, even though manifesto was public and written. His words, in a sense, were somewhat of a verbal manifesto to Jack. What was it, do you think, that made him turn around and realize, like, oh, this man is about to unalive himself? Was that just a movie thing? Or do you think there was something that was triggered to him that make him, he was walking down the hall and all of a sudden just stopped? That's something I just looked at him like, I don't know if I would have read too deep into what he said other than, oh, the OG doctor just trying to give me some life advice.
I think that's it in and of itself, because if you spend enough time with these doctors and these real scientists who are doing the significant research, that's not the character. So even if we've developed somewhat of a relationship beyond business, that level of intimate discussion is not typical. Yeah. And so now here we are. You're offering me life advice. Why? You're at the end of your life. Feels like it's expedited. Hold up. This is totally different than any conversation we've had, even if we do tend to get introspective.
You just lit that light bulb for me. Because now when you say it like that, it's not even that you plan on unaliving yourself. I know something's off. Let me just go back and, even if it was just one of those, hey, bro, you good? Like,
you good? You and your wife okay? There's something about it that's not right.
Yeah, good point. That's a great point. And going to what I said earlier about the whole him being so adamant about, wed a wife, have kids, don't worry about this job. The companies will abandon you, I think was the term of the year. We get the very next scene where we have Margot, Ellen Barker's character, and she's on some. She couldn't give a fuck about Dr. Schiller. Like, honestly, the man just threw himself out of the 20th whatever floor window, and she says, quote, "You think I give a fuck about that crazy crowd scientist?" And then in the same breath says, "I'm sorry your Nazi friend is dead." Like, she did not care. Like, nigga, they trying to, the FDA coming, SEC might be coming. I don't give a fuck about none of that. And it's like, damn, bro, this nigga just died.
That's it. And just to note, before that madman start gutting the FDA, when the FDA come through, it means something. Trust.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm trying to think if I had anything else to say about the Fatima part. Because they talked about adoption, they talked about the sperm banks, waiving parental rights.
Again, you love me.
We know how the movie ends.
Yeah.
But I don't know if... Well, let's get into what you talked about earlier, because that's the part that really blows my mind. How do we get from... As crazy as this sounds, that y'all coming here unannounced and wanting me to have your kids, even if y'all are paying $5,000 a piece, how do we get from that to... I got 5 other women here in your apartment, and we about to make a business out of this. Like, without any consultation, without any, hey, you can make this happen. Of course, once again, the satire of it all is this nigga Jack is not gonna, like, we had the point where the Italian daughter, she knew she was pregnant off. I'm like, all right, bro, like, all right, we get what you're saying. But all these women were getting pregnant, like one and done, one hitter quitters. And I know they're trying to like obviously play into the black sexualization, black male sexualization. That argument between Fatima and Alex.
That's one of my favorite scenes.
It's one of my favorite scenes. Which you talking about the one in the kitchen?
Yes.
All right, I'm not talking about that one. I mean the very first one. So when Fatima's in her lingerie and Alex comes in with the turkey baster. And you can tell they hadn't discussed how this was going to go down.
Crazy as hell.
That wild. She wild because you can see, and she's one of those people you can tell she like once her mind is made up, like my mind is made up, and there's that selfishness. Yeah, facts. It became a lurking storyline. This one moment leads into the scene you were talking about, where what's really going on. And Alex says, I'll be in the other room, and I ain't gonna hold y'all. This is toxic. This is whatever. If I'm Jack, I'm making it a point to knock the bottom out of that thing.
Yeah,
like, I'm knocking the bottom, and that's what they were on. Like the kissing. I think she was. There was some intimacy as you go through the montage, but that was we together sex.
Again, I know you. You know me. This ain't our first time having unprotected sex. We've really been doing that, But Alex crazy as hell too, because if the only conversation that we've had is that we're gonna go to Jack, get his sperm, and I know it's at least one turkey baster in the equation. I don't know if I'm thinking you got a secret one in your purse, or we're just gonna load that thing up and just deposit.
Yeah.
However.
Yeah.
But if I know that this is the option, and you get in here and tell me, "Oh no, I want that meat. I want it the natural way, baby." Yeah. I'm back like I never left on that thing. Are you crazy?
I'm back in. I'm better.
First off. Plan over. That's number one.
She said, "Fuck all this."
And two, if I'm to that point of desperation, again, I want you to have a baby and I want one for myself. Bitch, I'm not staying here in this other room and listening to you fuck your ex-fiance.
I'm knocking the bottom out of it on purpose.
Because I would anticipate that very thing. And just even if Jack is not trying to jackhammer you, I love you too, girl.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to be there for that, because this is also a betrayal of what me and you got going on. And I'm looking at you crazy because if I have now come to understand you and Jack's relationship, if you did it to him, why wouldn't you do it to me? And here you are doing it to me, and you want me to sit and listen? You want me to sit here for this?
So let's go deeper into this. I'm sorry, were you still going? Because I want to continue this. Yeah, let's go deeper into this. So everything you said was perfect and it was spot on. Disrespectful is the word, straight up. There's no other way around it. No matter what, fat is crazy. She's fucking insane. She reminds me of Haviland a little bit, where she's just kind of in her own world. Just, are you fucking nuts? Like, are you like? She doesn't. The Haviland comparison is in the sense of, I don't know if they view their way being any. I don't know if they view there being another option than the way they think things should be. Like, I don't even know if it. I don't know if it crosses their brain how fried some of their ideas are.
Yeah.
And they really need people to sit them down. Like, are you fucking nuts? Are you crazy? Because that's, as we're talking about it, it's just, hold on. We're together. We know we're together. We live together. We know we are a thing, to the point where we want to get pregnant at the same time. You want me to be here while you in here getting it knocked out? Like, what? This should have been planned better. But speaking of,
by your ex-fiance, that part cannot be overstated. It's not. I could sit here with you in a random. This is somebody that you also shared a life with, planned a life with.
So before we get to the scene, your scene of the argument, there's another good scene when unexpectedly, and this is when Jack is kind of at the end of it. Like, bro, like the fish ain't swimming the same. They tired. He tired. The moral compass of it all. What am I really doing? And then he gets that knock on the door for Alex. And Alex was adamant the entire time that, hey, I don't do dick. Alex is also the only one out of 17, 18 women that hasn't gotten pregnant yet. Yeah. She's talking about, I don't feel like a woman. I'm getting my $5,000 worth. And shout out to Jack for, dare I say, doing the right thing. No pun. What are you doing? Are you okay? What's going on? Because he knows. Right. Yeah, he knows that that's not. And the reason I say shout out, because there's a lot of men who can take advantage of that and just say, shit, I'll hit. Yeah. You can tell that's not he wasn't like that. Yeah, and also there was some concern. Yeah. My uncle always says, I love people who love the people I love. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he was there yet, but there was definitely some care where regardless of the bullshit, regardless of what down with me and Fat, I love her dearly. I love her sincerely. And there's at least some kind of respect for you because she loves you in the same way. You hear them moaning. We don't see the scene. It's one of the only women. I believe she's the only woman where we don't see. But you can hear the moaning once that door closes. But that's not the part. The part is that you know exactly what I'm about to say. That door closes, so she's leaving. Fatima's coming in. There's a major disconnect between this because neither one of us, and this is where shit gets crazy. Usually when people are sneaking and geeking, they got their own moves. We sneaking and geeking with the same person, even though it shouldn't even be sneaking. We know we trying to get pregnant. Fat had no idea she was over there, and Alice had no idea that she was coming over there and what the business was. And I
y'all ain't got no work tonight.
Y'all ain't got no work tonight. So what you doing over here? You ain't got no woman with you. Like there isn't going. Like, you just coming in at the late night. And I love what she said. Jack's fast asleep. Like I put it on that nigga. Put it on that nigga. Yeah, he sleep. If that's what you're looking for. And just that awkwardness. Then we get into the very next scene when Fat comes home. So let's get into it, Rachel.
Yeah. All of that. And shout out because Fat was coming over on a late night to come see her man about a mule. She's pregnant as hell, horny, I'm sure. I'm coming through to fuck my baby daddy. What are you doing here? So fast forward to the house. Alex, she's in her boxer shorts and sports bra. I see what you're doing, Spike Lee. And here's Fat. And it's an emotional moment because one, again, Alex is the only one who hadn't gotten pregnant. And we know that she did end up getting pregnant once Jack physically impregnated her. But now, because we are the ones in a relationship, we have to discuss what happened the other night. Why? I know why I was there. Why were you there? And you have to confront that. And so this is the first time that Fat is forced to be honest. I have feelings for him. Again, at the top of this, we already acknowledged that there had been little conversation between Jack and Fat since he walked in on her. So they don't have closure on this life that they were planning together. And despite the fact that Fat, in her words, loves pussy too, this is the relationship that I have to deal with and I have to confront. But I still love this man too, high key.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying his child. This is a bond. This is something that matters. And I felt for Alex in that moment. I'm not going to say Alex is a victim. But Alex is low-key a victim.
You are not a victim, Issa.
Shout out to Lawrence.
Now that's Daniel.
I mean,
that's when Dave was getting her ass together.
Shout out to Finance, Daniel.
Oh, yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yeah, that's a fine man right there.
Yeah, no Netflix show coming out soon.
Huh?
Rachel. I said he got a Netflix show coming out here in a second. But focus,
Oh,
Rachel.
sure does.
She got this nigga discombobulated.
Yeah, I listen. Y'all know how I love a fine black man. It just does something to me. No fat. But here they are having to confront this real imposition in their relationship. I thought we were doing one thing, but you're telling me it's literally another. I thought that we were doing our family planning situation and it was just going to be this, get the nut and we out. You're telling me your partner, even though I have to sit with this, you're not even out to your family.
That's the big part of it.
But I think that we are building this life, and you're telling me that you still have feelings for this man that you've brought into my orbit. And now I'm potentially pregnant and you are pregnant. Like, what the fuck are we doing when fat for the first time is really confronted with, I like them both. I want to do this. I'm here with you. But this is that. And it just is what it is. And I hate to say it. There is part of me that does understand that. Like, I love what this is.
yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
But it's some shit over here too. And it just exists. So either you can roll or not. Oh, it's tricky.
It's very tricky. So one thing I really do love about that scene is the fact that Alex was confronting her. I know we say it all the time, but is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic? Because I know what I was over there for. Like, we never, when we crossed paths in that hallway, we didn't finish that conversation. Like, so this is me finding out, like, why were you there actually? Because I was there to get pregnant.
And you didn't leave. So then did you go fuck behind me?
Exactly. So what's going on? We all, listen, if you lived enough life, you seen somebody in a place where they weren't supposed to be and you got questions. Let's put it like that.
For sure. For sure. When
everything that you just
go ahead.
No, I was just going to tie it in. Everything you just mentioned goes into the flashback / present day scene of Jack and Fat. So when you mention how Fat, like, hey man, I kind of like this. I think this film indirectly, I don't think Spike had this on his mind, but it indirectly discusses the honesty that it takes to really live your life. And people say that all the time, like, just be real. You never know what somebody's into and what they're willing to do if you don't just be upfront about it. So if you want to be on some poly shit, find somebody who want to be on some poly shit. That's fair. You have to understand, not everybody's going to want to do that. And if they don't, you can't force it. Move on. There's plenty of people that do. Trust me, like plenty of people. And that conversation. So October 11th, right? You know what October 11th is? It's National Coming Out Day. Even that, if I'm Jack, this is how you telling me after all these years that you like, you don't have to say, I saw you. I caught you in our bed. You know what I'm saying?
Our bed. Getting.
No, they was getting it in, Rachel. They was getting it in.
This not even scissoring. Y'all
fucking.
Yeah.
Like,
community tap in. Before that scene, at the tail end of that, of the kitchen scene, when Alex says, don't do it and you don't mean it. I don't mean to be crass or vulgar. And community, tap in.
Yeah, let us know.
For bumping cats on the counter, I would still think that Community tap in. Tell us how it goes
How it
in that
works.
way. I understand laying down, but it's no strap involved, not in that scene. So I'm just trying to
I got
the
questions.
positioning,
I
the
got
way,
questions.
and again, this is probably also male gaze shit, for
Yeah.
for that sex scene.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is more than anything. But I do got some questions, so
Yeah.
right in.
I'm glad you asked and not me.
Because
I
I'm actually very curious.
I was thinking the same thing mainly because of that scene with Fat and the Unknown Woman, because like we said, they were getting it in, like no ifs, ands, or buts. And I love the expression acting. Y'all know I talk about this all the time. Love the expression acting of like, I'm coming home, I got flowers for my girl, roses. Like we,
come home early, expecting your warm embrace.
Mind you, y'all, like context, engaged, scheduled to be married within some months, I'd imagine, because the invites are out. So it's not like, hey, we just living together, trying to figure this shit out. We're building a life together, and I come home to this surprise. Fatima mentions directly she doesn't want to be put into a box. And the perspective of herself trying to figure out her sexuality most of her life. Like, he asked her, how long have you known? She said, maybe since high school. There are people who struggle either one of two things. Either they really struggle with their sexuality because they know at an early age that they don't like just one sex, but they don't know what that means for them. Once again, that whole box label. Like, what do I call myself if I like men and women? Or it might be a little bit more complicated than that. And then also just the idea of, is this real? Is this a phase? And that's something you hear a lot, especially people who aren't of the community trying to discourage people to be a part of the community. They'll tell them, instead of acknowledging their feelings or their thoughts, they'll tell them like, oh, well, this is just a phase. This is something you'll grow out of this. And I think it particularly, and I don't have any evidence behind this, is just me talking. I'm sure it's more geared towards women. I think from a societal standpoint, it's definitely more accepting for women to be gay. And you even had some of that with the Italian nephews. Like, I think that's sick, but I'll watch. Like, just kind of the double-headed irony of it all.
Yeah.
But I think that Jack gives especially the 2004 toxic answer of, you either straight or you gay. I don't believe in that gay gene. I don't believe in all of that. Very, we get it. There is Adam and Eve, not Adam and Eve. Like, very, like, going to the Bible, biblical, like going straight. What you about to say?
I said Adam and Steve.
Adam and Steve, yeah. I think the brother said Adam and Eve, but yeah, Adam and Steve is something that if you grew up in the church, you heard that a lot too. Fatima doesn't want to, and this is where it all gets tricky, as you would say, Rachel. You can see very clearly she doesn't want to give him up.
Yeah.
And there's no room for the confusion. Like, you got both sides, Alex and Jack, on some, like, what you doing? What you want to do? I'm not about to sit here and play this game with you. It's one or the other. And one of the things that I thought was very fascinating, because I think even today in 2026, men still have this thought process of, I bet she seduced you. I know how these lesbians are. They're vultures. Like, they're persistent. They don't stop. Like, that's one thing you still, like, from high school to now, I still hear men saying that, like, man. And I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and guess and play that game of why or how women be pulling women. But you see it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it falls into, I just, personally, I think that women date enough men to where they get tired of the bullshit and they're more open to exploring. And then they kind of finds out, like, oh, okay, I like fucking with women, or I like women knowing what I need because they're women too, even if it is a whole nother thing. Once again, community tap in. I'm out of my depth here. Either way, I did think it was very interesting when Spike wrote that, and when Jack delivered it about the whole, this is how we view women. Like, y'all come to take our girls, y'all being persistent, y'all some sharks in the water, all of that. And then Fatima said, nah, I pursued her. I wanted to know what was going on. I was the one that was at her and got her to our bed. I do feel him about being mad about the timing of it all. That's the biggest thing. Like I can't. Nobody can knock him for that. Like I deserve the choice, is what he said, and I feel him.
Yeah.
Like for everything, you get mad at that. But yeah, just having to relive that when you see the scene, and I appreciate Spike for putting it in, just from a perspective standpoint. It's one thing to know some shit went down between them, and they alluded to it for the movie. When you see that scene, and you know that's etched in his brain forever.
Yeah,
you got some shit. You you need to talk to the lady about that.
For sure.
Yeah. So
for sure.
Outside of that, Rachel, the Black Italian relations, we talked about that. Wasn't really needed. If anything, you can the irony of y'all hate Black people, but you are the ones wearing the chains and wearing the Sean John velour suits, and you got the Escalade and the spinners, and you asking if I know Jay-Z. Like y'all so engulfed in the culture, but you have nothing to do with it. Even the dad said, how they grew up on Frank Sinatra and ended up on Snoopy Dogg doesn't make sense. So I think it was just highlighting that part of it, but I didn't need the whole Italian aspect of it. Even them making sure that he cleared their name in court, or whatever. It just didn't flow with it. And then just overall the ending of the film. I know obviously we didn't talk about the family aspect of it, but when he went to go see his dad, and we talk about Frank Wills as the whistleblower for Watergate, and people do the right thing are exiled. Guilty parties make more money. That little scene when they had Frank Wills and he was surrounded by all the Watergate people. They say you a nobody. We can kill a nobody. And I just think that's how life really works. But him handing over Dr. Schiller's disc, being the whistleblower, having the poly relationship at the end, it was whatever. At that point,
it makes sense. Alex don't do dick. I mean, she did it, but now I got to just accept this because I want you, because I want fat.
I think that's how it works sometimes. I think that's how it works, man. You would think that it's all consensual on all levels, and obviously it is consensual because she's agreeing to be there. But is that I want to do this, or is that fuck it? Fuck it, why not?
In order for me to have this life with this lady, these are the terms, because I know she ain't coming up off of them.
Do you think that is this even worth even getting into the conversation? Let me ask it this way. Are they sharing fat, or do you think Alex and Jack are involved as well?
They kissed. They involved as well.
Kissed, but she's very serious about the no dick. She only did that to get straight.
They are primarily sharing fat. However,
trying to think about how I feel about that.
Again, that ain't Alex was the sex scene that we didn't see.
She said that nigga was fast asleep. She put it on him.
So, even though prior to this, you don't do dick, it don't mean that you won't do it. And so now, because of the kiss, because of the moaning, the different moaning, because even consider that, even though Jack was sleeping with all of those women, and most of them did find some pleasure in the penetration, the moaning of it was very different. The sound of satisfaction was very different, which you could allude, and you talked about a level of care. So again, based off the sounds of Blackness that we got, John Henry was a gentle giant when it came to Alex in her time.
Your wordplay is fucking killing me, Rachel.
And so because of that, it leaves the door open for the end of the movie. I want this woman. I know that she wants you in addition to what we have. We can find a common ground, and I might not always want what you got, but it is a viable option as well. And if we do decide we don't just want these two kids, I know I too now have in-house.
Exactly. I was just gonna say the same. You said in-house. I was gonna say live-in.
Yeah.
They got it at their disposal. Nobody needs to go to the store. We got everything here.
We got everything we need. We got food at home.
Probably one of the earlier films.
Aspect. I mean, everybody needs a friend, but I didn't need his no sperm count. Unless that was their not all black men. Q-Tip wasn't getting no ass and he ain't had no nut.
the Veda character, we're not at things that bother me. And it didn't bother me. He didn't bother me, but I just didn't need that character. I just didn't.
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neal was actually offered that role originally, but he had some pilots that he was working on. You know who was offered the role of Evelyn, who was played by Paula J. Parker?
Who?
Little Kim.
I could see that.
Yeah, it fit her, and it makes sense when you see it. It's like, oh, you wrote this for Little Kim, and she said no, so you just kept the character and moved on. Allegedly, she said it wasn't good for her image, and I'm like, Little Kim, this is your fucking image. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about that last scene. I just don't know if it's movie magic, of course. It's a lot.
I'm just bullshit. I'm watching from back here.
Yeah, it's a lot to. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, if the ideal situation would probably be for both of them, but there's so many more layers and so many more conversations, so much more understanding. Because I don't think I know anyone personally who's like poly. But from the stuff I've seen and kind of read, trust is a big factor for a healthy relationship, right? It's not just like the reckless shit that a lot of niggas be doing. A lot of niggas be poly, they just be cheating. It's the honesty and the trust that goes into it. So I don't know. I'm trying to think if that's something that I don't know if you make that decision in the moment. As I'm looking at both of these babies, two are mine. I'm looking at both of these women. Perfect scenario. I don't know. And just the overall picture of all of them kids and couples on the steps, it was just like, bro, I personally, I don't think I could do it. I don't know if I could just have kids out here like that. I know it's making good money and the agreement was I'm not going to be a part of the kids' lives, but it is a little bit weird 15, 20 years down the line when you start thinking like, damn, I got like 15 kids out there that I know nothing about. Like that curiosity you think, especially for a character like Jack, he's not someone who's just going to be on some, fuck these kids. Like, I'm cool. I collect the money and we good. So I don't know. Was there anything else about the film itself that you wanted to discuss?
No.
Yeah. As y'all can hear, like we spent most of the time on the Alex Fat and Jack of it all. Other stuff was going on, but it just they just lose you when they circle back to at the end of the movie. Okay, whatchamacallit, what's his name? Pal gets arrested and he does the perp walk, and once again the Italians, and Jack he's set free. He doesn't have to do any jail time, and cool. I'm glad, happy ending, but it is what it is. Best quotes. Got any quotes?
I just have a couple. Not to know is bad, not to wish to know is worse. That's actually a bar. We need that male milk. Money talks and bullshit walks. We know that. It's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. We know that. We tied it in 2 titties and a push-up bra. And don't do it if you don't mean it. And I mean that about everything.
Facts. That's it. Of course, the infamous from Isaiah Whitlock. You mentioned the one not to know is bad. That quote: "The American public are a bunch of fucking morons."
I thought about that.
Example A: look at life right now, present day. Tell the truth, shame the devil. the motherfuckers don't play when you start fucking with the money. That's his dad in that conversation. That's a fucking bar.
Old Jim Brown.
That's a fucking bar. And then the last one just had me. It's his personal favorite when Veda and Jack are talking about the "She Hate Me" scene. Mary be making up some motherfucking words. Hateration, holleration. Shout out to Mary J.
Ejactorium is nuts.
Ejactorium is insane. Very clever, but insane. If she would have said that to me, I'm like, let me get the fuck up out of here, bro. Well, what am I doing? Walking to the ejactorium. Scene silly?
Paula J. Parker. I still say not to anybody, but nigga, come and get it. Ooh. Work me, baby. Don't nobody clip that. But
funny as fuck. That's a really good choice. The only other person I would really think of is Dania Ramirez, who played Alex. Just because I've seen her in other things. This is probably the most advanced role, I think, from what I've seen her in, because she had a small role in Sopranos, she had a small role in Entourage. I know she's been in other things, but she wasn't bad in this film. It's hard to pick a scene, so I'm gonna go with Paula J. Parker because she was the one she's the woman that stood out as far as everybody goes. He's moving them damn shoulders, man. You funny. Things that bother you?
Why would she do that?
She was acting. She was in the scene. She was in the moment.
Why would she do?
She was on one, man.
Paula is fucking stupid. Things that bother me. When Dr. Schiller jumped out that window, why was all them other bodies there dead if he landed directly on the cart?
So remember the homie that Veda got the coffee from, he was inside the cart. So he was one of them. And then I thought the same thing. Not that you're getting weak while you're talking about it, though. You funny as fuck. I thought about this because I went back to rewind it because I was like, where the fuck all these bodies come from? So when the landing happens, when he initially lands, this sounds so fucked up when you say it like that. You see other bodies kind of just almost like a bomb. And I'm like, I don't know if that impact is that strong. Because you hitting that cart alone should brace all of that. I don't know.
Yeah, ain't nobody else, even if you're at the cart.
Because all due respect, Dr. Schiller looked like a little nigga.
5'2".
Yeah, like you ain't about to be making that kind of impact 20 floors up. Like you gonna fuck yourself up, which we saw. But like you said, I don't even know if he's going through the cart to fuck up old boy. And definitely not anybody on the outside.
Right.
Your little ass caused 5 casualties.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
it. Other than what we've already discussed.
Yeah, the overall ridiculousness of this film. I guess that's probably it, but nothing really to write home about. Any actors, or excuse me, come see about me? I don't know. Is there a come see about me, Rachel?
No. Would you come see me in jail, please? No.
Show me my babies.
Fat coming to get her nigga bag? No.
Alice Gannon, a new nigga. All of that, man. We have any actors from The Wire? Isaiah Whitlock, of course. Infamous Clay Davis. The late great. We've been on a roll recently with some actors from The Wire. Yes, at least 2 movies in a row. Wouldn't let that happen to me. It's a satire. I don't know.
Yeah.
I personally can't see myself having sex with all these women for money. However, I've also never been in such a desperate situation where it's easy to say one thing. It's another thing for somebody to be in your face with 10 bands, not just one person, but 10 people. And hey, here's $100,000 cash. I just need you to pop this Viagra, drink that Red Bull, and get it in.
Get this shit up.
Hey, a girl said, nah, man, you got my money. I ain't coming back tomorrow. We about to figure this shit out now.
Bruh, the studs was perfect.
Hey,
I'm gonna let in fact talk me into this throuple when I already told y'all I don't do dick.
Fat needs a spinoff. We needed a little bit more. I needed her one off because Fat, she's a real MVP of this movie for real. When you talk about everybody who got what they wanted, when you talk about somebody who got everything she wanted from start to finish, it was Fat. It was Fat. She had no issues except for a little bit of quarrel with Alex, but she was so selfish. I don't think she really gave a fuck. She cared. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't gonna end their day. It wasn't gonna end her life if Alex left. So I don't know. Kind of gave you the trivia that I had on the film. Rachel, we get to the part of the episode where we get to rate the film. This has the exact same rating as Superfly, which we did last week. The average viewer rates this film a 5.3 out of 10. Too high, too low, just right.
Too low.
Too low. It's too low.
Too low. I'm gonna go 6.3.
I'm going straight 6.
6. I'm going 6.
Yeah, I'm going straight 6, but it is too low. 5.3 is a little bit criminal.
Yeah, and 5.3 is too low for Superfly too.
5.3 is definitely too low for Superfly. But yeah, it had enough to where it's at least a 6. It can go higher if you trim some of that away. But overall, I'll watch it again. It's just when.
If it's on, I'm not buying it again. But if it's on,
hell no, I'm not gonna spend that money. And that $12.99 is just like shit. Hell no, I'm not doing that either.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to the Spike Lee filmography. Shout out to She Hate Me. I do agree with the writer I mentioned earlier who wrote the essay. I do think over time you kind of get the gist of what it is, even though I wonder if Spike intentionally avoided talking about this film and his origins of it just to kind of keep that mystery alive or just the troll job alive. So I don't know. You giving it a rose bouquet or a whole damn garden, Rachel?
I'm gonna give it a rose. It's really a couple stems, but it ain't.
I was just about to say, one doesn't seem enough, but a damn sure I ain't spending all the money on the bouquet.
Yeah.
Like, so when you order like from 1-800-Flowers and all the places, and they give you the small, medium, large joint, what's less than the small? Can we just pick a couple of them stems out and just hand them?
Not some baby's breath.
You're going to Trader Joe's, man.
For sure.
All right, Rachel, that's it. Episode over, y'all. Please remember to like, subscribe, share. LightRealFilm.com. Check it out. June 3rd through the 6th. Culture Garden going to be in the building. Live podcasting. We got y'all. We'll be back next week with a new episode. And until then, we out. Y'all be cool. Y'all be cool.
Peace out. Stay black. We love y'all.
No doubt.
Power to the people.
Always.
Be a whistleblower if you can.
Be a whistleblower, man.
No matter the outcome. Integrity matters.
Don't be scared. We need more like you. Be out, y'all.
He's scared to rebound.